And
Um,
it's interesting that
yeah.
when they go back to the castle together, oh, first the angel of God gave them one meal with her, and then they went back to the king's aged mother, and they were married again. And then they lived contentedly and happily ever after. It's interesting they were married again. But yeah, well, thanks. That was a really good retelling. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but yeah, there's a lot of remembered a lot of detail. Uh, you said you like that story?
Yeah, I did. It's very different from a lot that I've heard. I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting this kind of story.
yeah. Well, a lot of divine intervention. There's usually more like gnomes and dwarves, or the divine is like indirect or something, but this is like directly the devil with a lot of parts, and directly God or an angel with a lot of parts too. One thing I think we forgot to mention was that when she left her father handless, her hands were bound behind her back when she went out into the world. And again, when she went out into the world from to escape the king's supposed order of execution, her hands were bound behind her back to support her baby. I'm not sure what that might mean, but maybe it's sort of a gesture of supplication or something.
Mhm.
But what strikes you about this story?
Um, well, just it's everything, but I'm thinking about water a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, me too.
yeah, the water and tears kind of made me think of holy water.
Yeah.
Uh, and and those are just traditional like symbols of protection, like in a like when I go to Catholic church and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
And in the Old Testament too, I think
yeah.
there's a lot about, yeah, God. Like when they're following the way of God, uh, it rains, and when they're not, things can dry up.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah, so
in general, there's sort of this association with cleanliness and godliness.
mhm. Yeah, and so and I think that there's just more symbols like the circle as well. And I think silver is like a it's uh it's kind of symbolic for like has protective protection too.
Hmm.
And kind of purity, like as a metal.
Hmm.
Uh so yeah, I just notice those kinds of things.
Yeah, the water sticks out to me the most. That's one reason
Mhm.
why I interjected that the whenever that hapless messenger stops to fall asleep before his letter is intercepted and replaced by the devil like four times, it's by a stream.
Mhm.
I think the stream has to do with like a borderland. It's the border between the outside world and the protected world of the garden, and the border between the king's warring kind of area and the kingdom, that his wife and mother are supposedly safe in. But unlike with the circle that she drew at the beginning and the water that she had, she was not safe from the devil this time. I wonder what that has to do with anything.